Coach, over the course of your 40-plus year career, how would you say you've grown most?
I hope I have, but I'm not sure. Sometimes I feel like I'm exactly like I was 40 years ago. And other times, I think I've figured out what I can be effective at and what I can't. I used to think that I would be able to control more scenarios, more. I need you to be this for me, and make you into that. I need you to be this for me, and you realize over a period of time how little control you actually do have, and that a lot of it is just do the best you can and cross your fingers. But and then the other thing is putting less into basketball defines who you are.
Yeah.
When you grow up with the game and then you get into it and you're doing it for so long, if you're not careful, you start to think that as long as we keep winning basketball games, as long as I keep doing this, then this is who I am. And I came to realize that, luckily, that has nothing to do with who I am. That's just what I do for a living. It's not my life.
That's life advice there. You have had control over some things. I mean, when you have 11 championships, I'm going to read them. I'm sure you hate this part. 11 championships, 23 Final Fours, 6 perfect seasons, 59 conference championships later. Without giving away too many secrets, what have you learned is the key to sustained success?
The key, the key to success is probably the same as the key to sustaining it. I think the key to success is you immediately surround yourself with really great people that see something out there that is similar to what you see, but they help you get there because maybe they see it through a different lens, right? So you surround yourself with those kind of people, which I've been fortunate to do. And then you decide very early on, how are we going to go there? And what is the base that we're going to build? And what kind of individual are we going to build it on? Meaning, what kind of kids are we going to recruit? And you never waver from that. And then those kids help you be successful. Those people you first hire help you be successful. And then you double down on that. Then you keep bringing in that kind of kid who just happens to be a better player.
What is that kind of?
It started at the very beginning with, can we coach this kid? What's their background? Are they used to being coached? And by that I mean, are they used to being parented? Or are they used to being taught? Do they understand this is really acceptable, and if I keep doing this, that's really good. This is unacceptable, and if I keep doing this, I'm out. Or do I just expect it to be my way, and they have to kind of adjust to me? So that starts with that, and then understanding that it's not about you, that kind of kid. A kid that is hard to find today because the world that's been created for them, because the 18-year-old kids I recruit now are not that much different than the 18-year-old kids I recruited in 1985. They both need similar things. They've just been told and been brought up in a world that's convinced them that that's not really true. You don't really, as long as you have this, you don't really need those things. When really these things are the things that are most important in your life. But the superficial things have become way more important in these kids' lives through no fault of their own. So you got to work harder, but getting those kids who truly understand, I can't do this by myself. I need something around me that's bigger than me.
When you're at a recruiting event, watching a game and evaluating some of these younger players, it's more than just talent. Like, you're watching for those types of intangibles as well.
Yeah.
What does a player embody who has those intangibles that you know they're coachable or know that they have that mental toughness?
The mental toughness part can be difficult at times because they can fool you. Because you're not quite sure if they've ever been in that situation. If you don't ever see them in that situation, you don't know. You're taking a chance. But you can see, and you were right about the talent part. If a kid's not, like you're sitting there and you're watching, and the kid's not that talented, you wouldn't be there anyway.
Right.
So the fact that you're there watching means this kid is really talented. Now there's two kids you're trying to watch. You're trying to evaluate this kid versus that kid. They're both equally talented. This kid pouts every time something goes the other way. Okay? This kid just plays. This kid bitches at the refs all the time. This kid just plays. This kid, when they get taken out of the game, they go sit at the end of the bench and they put a towel around their head and they don't talk to anybody. This kid sits next to the coach and wants to know, how can I be better? This kid helps their teammates be better. This kid doesn't care about their teammates. This kid really wants to win. You can tell. This kid just wants to score 30 points and make sure coaches go, that's a great player. You know, this kid's parents are really whack jobs because you can see them in the stands. They're nuts. They're out of control. This kid, you don't even know if they have parents here or not. So right away, you start to see what shapes this kid. And most of the time, luckily, we've been right. But obviously, we've been wrong. Not everybody's right all the time. So those, for me, are, being unselfish. Yeah, can they pass? You got a kid that you say, well, that kid can really shoot, but you've never seen him throw a pass. That kid's going to struggle in our program. But that kid would be a fantastic player somewhere else. And it doesn't,
You're willing to give up a really good player if you don't think that.
I think you have to. I think you have to. Because one player that may be really good for us, some other coach might go, I don't see the value in that kid. Whereas for me, that kid's really going to be good, but not in the way we play. But I bet you if that kid goes to that particular school, that kid's going to be fantastic. So you have to be willing to, because if you got all the best ones, like who would you play against?
Yeah.
you got to let some of them go. You got to
It does feel like you get all the best
We
ones,
get some
Coach.
of them.
I was going to say.
We get some of them. We didn't get all of them.
Who's the toughest player you have ever coached?
Toughest in what way?
Toughest.
Toughest to coach?
Well, that too. If
I got a bunch of
I'm sure
those.
you got a couple of candidates.
I got a bunch of those.
In terms of just like hard nosed, you talk about that mental toughness and that ability to be coachable.
Yeah.
Who's that for you?
Well, those are two different things. The kids who have been the toughest mentally, toughest physically, hard-nosed, a lot of them that I've had are also hard to coach because they're stubborn, they're hard-headed, they're competitive, they're tough, and they think that they're right all the time. And they think all they have to do is beat it, So, Jen Rosati, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Jamel Elliott, Kelly Farris. Like, these guys are just, and some of them are icons, and some are just guys that you knew, like, we can't win without these guys. So of the famous ones that I would say Diana, Jen Rosati, Maya Moore, those guys were just tough.
Yeah.
And they were tough the first day they walked in. You didn't have to teach them to be tough guys, of the famous ones.
We want to be respectful of your time. 40 years in, what keeps you motivated right now? Because you've done it all.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Somebody that is still touring and they're 75 years old. I saw Bob Seger recently. He was 72, 73. I saw somebody, Frankie Valli maybe in the Four Seasons. He was 75. And you see all these people, what makes them still do it? Yeah, you watch somebody in a movie that's been acting for 50 years. Why do they still do it?
To me, they love it.
They love it. They love it, and they think they're still good at it. And no one's told them that's important to them anyway. Hey, you need to walk away from this because you're slipping a little bit. You don't have it anymore. So to me, it's the same thing. I think I'm still good at it, I think my people around me think I'm still good at it. And to this point, I still love it. Here's the thing. You don't love as many things as you did 40 years ago.
Right.
Okay? There's more things you don't love, but the things that are important you still love. And no one in my inner circle so far has said, yo, man, I just noticed you suck. You need to walk away from this. You're old. So they haven't done that yet. And so that just, plus in real life, to be more serious, every kid that comes to UConn wants you to help them win a national championship. It's not realistic, obviously. But the quest for one, the fact that they want one so bad and that they're willing to trust you to help them get it, that's kind of impactful for me anyway. Because I've always been like that since I was young. The way to get to me back in those days was to ask me to do you a favor, because I could never say no. So these kids are actually saying, Coach, can you do me a favor? Help me get from here to there. And I feel like, all right, this is what's gotten me here, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Last one for me is you win a national title, say, coming up this year. What bottle of wine are you grabbing to celebrate?
A 1995 Obrion.
Whew.
I don't know. We'll Google it later.
I was going to say, Coach.
Probably out of
Simply because that's when I got it in 1995 from a friend who owned a wine shop, and he said, "You like wine?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You should start finding out what really nice wines are," and I did, and I started 1995. We won our first national championship, and I still have one bottle left, and that would be the one.